Welcome back.
Hello everybody, we are back.
So today we're going to talk about
What is it like to date someone of a different race?
yes.
What is it like?
Are we of different races?
Oh shit.
Where are you?
Are you black?
Yeah, are you white? So we just discovered we are of different races, and I guess we'll talk you
I
through
thought your hair was different than mine.
how that is for us and what we've experienced. You want to start?
No, you start.
All right. I've always been open to dating people of different races. I've never had an issue. I've always seen people as people, and I like them because of who they are, and not necessarily the color of their skin, their background, or what they even look like. I connect with people, and not races. My family hasn't always been supportive of that, but as we've evolved as people and they've realized that the world is just full of culture and there's just so many people you never meet, really your limitations are based on where you spend your life, how you're brought up, and what you're actually exposed to. So just give people a chance, give them an opportunity to not fit into the stereotypes you try to build, and just get to know people at a deeper level.
Yeah. Well, I never dated outside of my... No, wait.
Inside.
Oh, wait. Again. Pause and go. So, I never dated within my race. I never had a white girlfriend. The only white thing I have is my puppy. Oh, there he is, being nosy. You hear him on the floor like with his paws. Anyways, so I don't really have anything to compare it to. Like, I could never see myself dating a German person.
You're just not attracted to them like that.
No.
There's nothing wrong with German people.
No.
It just doesn't
We're pretty cool.
appeal to you.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It's like I see a lot of beautiful white women, but
So do I.
so do I. So do I. No shit shots. Anyways, so yeah, but yeah, I've never been attracted to them. It's just what it is. So oh yeah, if you catch me looking over there, I'm looking at my list because every time the camera comes on, my brain goes blank. Sorry about that. Working on it, but I have a list, so I don't forget anything. But oh yeah, here in Germany or in Europe, we never really ran into hate.
We experienced one incident in Berlin. Not Berlin. Where were we? Where we were walking past a guy who was on the street speaking like a street preacher, I guess.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that when we walked by, he said all lesbians are gonna burn in hell.
You will burn in hell.
And he wasn't really threatening, and I don't think he could have been speaking to us specifically, which is fine, but I usually ignore it. But there were a lot of lesbians out there then anyway. Were we at Pride?
No, I don't know. He just yelled at us and screamed at us, and he was speaking to us.
And it wasn't related to our races.
And I just looked at him and I smiled. I was like, really God. Really God.
What we get more often is because of our personalities and our personas, people stereotype us more in gender roles than they do related to our race. So when she tells people that she's married to somebody in the military, they expect me to be some big burly, like Diesel version of a black woman.
The Rock.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh my gosh, she's so dainty.
That is true.
She's so little. And then when they see her and meet her, they expect her to be like this little delicate flower, and although she is gentle, she is
the delicate flower.
Very German, very strong. That's just how I'm gonna say that. Let's get back to so dating somebody outside of your race, and things you need to be aware of is that their families aren't always gonna understand. Like, if you're the first person outside of their race that they dated, they're not always gonna understand or even want to try to understand how you could be attracted to somebody that looks like nobody you were raised around. Which, I mean, that's kind of cool, because if you date people that look like people in your family, you might have other issues. That's for another video.
Now thinking back, I think it's actually my parents' fault. Okay. In my case. Okay. I was raised with Barry White, Diana Ross, all kinds of black people.
They used to come over the house all the time.
Yep. Anyways, you guys know what I mean.
With that influence, yeah.
Yeah, the music, we traveled. Can I tell that story where I got mad at my dad? I was a little girl, and in the city where I was raised, we had a lot of military people stationed over there, American military. So I used to see a lot of people of color all the time, any and everywhere. So one day I don't know, I was maybe 4 or 5 years old, and came to my dad and I said, "Dad, I have a question. Why are you white? I would rather have you a little darker so I would look more brown. Is that possible still? Is it reversible? What you guys did?" And he just, I don't remember what he said, but I think he was a little sad. Like, "You don't like me? Know that I love you." Like I said, I always told my parents I'm going to get married to a person that is browner than me. And I kept my word on that. And yeah. Now, German people or Europeans, they are, I think that they are way more open than Americans. Back in the day when I dated my ex-boyfriend, that's super long ago, but anyways, he took me to his parents' house. So I traveled to the States. He lived in Texas. But when I got there, I was a little confused, because he showed me a room and he said, "This is the room where you sleep in with my niece, and I sleep in the other room with my nephew." I was like, "What? Like, we have to sleep in separate rooms?" And he was like, "Well, yeah, we have my parents' house and we're not married." I was like, "But you sleep in my house, like, you know, I don't know this way. Like, you could have warned me. Like, I had no idea. I thought it was because we didn't have to do that in my mom's house. Like, it wasn't even a question, you know?"
Yeah, it's a cultural thing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is. So what I wanted to say with that is that living in Germany and growing up in Germany, we are not so conservative. Was that what you call it?
That's the perfect word.
I also noticed that a lot of my American friends, they have never seen their parents naked. I'm not saying you should see your parents naked, but I remember when I was a little girl being naked. I mean, it was in the 80s. It was still, my parents were kind of, they were hippies and stuff. No one was shy about being naked. It was just not a thing. It was just different. It was more open, more free.
Some things that I've experienced being in interracial relationships is I once came into a family where the grandmother the guy was dating, didn't like that I was black because she grew up in a different area at a different time. So when I met her, she really didn't acknowledge that I was there, even though there were only 3 of us in the house. And he specifically brought me to the house to meet her. So she would talk to him about me and essentially talk to me through him, but she wouldn't like talk to me. It was the most awkward experience I ever had in my life. She did tell him that I was a pretty girl, but she didn't say it to me, and everybody was speaking English, so it wasn't like I wouldn't know what was going on. It was extremely awkward. Other things I've experienced is at the end of a relationship, during a breakup, I've had an ex's mother tell him that he shouldn't leave me in the house alone with our stuff. because black people like to steal stuff. We were married for 4 years at this point, and I obviously thought his mother felt differently about me, but that was not the case. So I didn't steal any of the stuff. I actually made more money than he did, so if anything, I own more of it, but I didn't take anything, you know, whatever. Other issues that you're gonna run into is just not knowing, like daily life stuff that we deal with is Caucasian people shed a lot of hair, like a ridiculous amount of hair, and everybody loses 100 hairs a day, but because her hair is so
use 500 a day
and luxurious, and mine is pretty curly and short, and I usually only lose it if I wash my hair, if I get my hair cut. It doesn't just fall out.
Because it tangles up. The loose hair tangles up in there.
So we find a lot more hair. Like, I think it's like a marking tool, because I go to work and I'm pulling hairs out of my clothes, out of my backpack, out of my boots. Like, there is no doubt that I am spoken for.
Marking her name.
Yes. I do not have a husky. I have a Caucasian wife. So another thing you'll run into is them not knowing. Take time to get to know each other and ask questions instead of assuming based off of a movie you've seen, based off of an article you read, or based off of something that's not factual. And everybody's different. You have to think of culture more so than race, because two black people from two different sides of the country could have been raised completely different. So what applies to one doesn't necessarily apply to the other. Same goes for white people. What I experience in the States is completely different than what I've experienced here in Europe, due to some of the cultural differences and the openness and just being exposed to a lot more than we are in the States. So we have a cultural, it's a roller coaster, and I'm enjoying it, and it's really fun. Something else to think about when considering dating outside your race is you have to do what makes you happy. Your family may not necessarily agree with your choices, but at the end of the day, your heart beats for you. You got to do what makes you happy. You have to stand behind your decisions, because I know everybody has known somebody that goes their whole life, and at the end, all they have is regrets and things they wish they would have tried, things they wish they would have done. Just give people a chance.
Because of the color of the skin.
We're born innocent. As children, we play with other children and we don't think twice about it. All that racism and all those negative thoughts and those stereotypes we're programmed as we grow up based off of what we experience. Just go back to the beginning when we were just people.
Please, guys.
Because at the end, like you said, if you take off our skin.
If I had a zipper on my back and her back, and I was able to take off our skin right now and ask you who's what color,
besides the difference in the way our bodies are built, you have no idea. We're all the same on the inside. So I would say if you are in an interracial relationship or considering one, give it a shot. If you have any questions, any more specific questions that you would like us to answer, please put it in the comments. You can email us at the email address, and
if you want it to be private,
we're looking forward to hearing from you. And we definitely appreciate the people that have reached out. Your emails mean so much to us, and we look forward to them every day, and we continue. We'll try to get back to you as soon as we can. We love the correspondence, the communication, and thanks so much for taking the time to join us for this Q&A. No. Thank you for taking the time to join us for this video, and hopefully you subscribe and you like and you're following us. You tell your friends.
And share, please.
We hope to keep the content positive, and we hope to bring more like-minded individuals together.
That's it. Ding! For those of you that watch our past, you guys know what that was. I just don't have it here right now. Yeah. But wait, did I want to say anything else? Hold on, guys. Yeah, I think that's it. I think I'm finished for today.
All right.
We love you guys. And we'll see you later. Tschüss.